वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयं यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविधे नमः। So the current chapter we are discussing is called Jivan Mukti Prakaranam, or a treatise which explains how Jivan Mukta lives and how Jivan Mukti is attained. So Jivan Muktaha is a person who is already free because of the knowledge one has gained, and the Jivan Mukta continues to live in this world just as anybody else, because he also has got a physical body, he or she has also got a physical body, and continues to live in this world just as everybody else. But having gained jnana, the person is not comparable to Nagyani. He or she is a different class or different status is given in the Shastram, and there are some rules or injunctions which don't apply anymore to the jnani. Then this chapter continues to discuss about how the Jivan Mukta lives this life and what happens after he passes away or when he attains Videha Mukti. So, Jivan Muktaha, the person is already free because of Jnana. So, while having Jnanam, a person can continue to be having physical body because of the Prarabdha. So, that is something which you cannot avoid. Jnani also has got a Prarabdha, Ajnani also has got a Prarabdha. But the Jnani has got a different understanding of Prarabdha. He knows that this Prarabdha is something which I cannot shake off and I cannot get out of it. Even knowledge cannot remove the Prarabdha. So one has to, whether you are a wise person or not a wise person, one has to live this life, undergo what is required, suffer the pains and pleasures, and once the physical body departs from this universe, or when the person attains Videha Mukti, for such a person there is no rebirth because he's already attained Jivan Muktaha. He was living a life of Jivan Muktaha in the current Janma itself, and he was living this life for the rest of the years only because his Prarabdha was there, the physical body was there. So when the physical body departs, for such a person there is no Janma. So this is the essence of the whole text. And in this text, three topics are introduced: Sanchita Karma, Agami Karma, and Prarabdha Karma. So three topics are discussed, and three topics are compared, or there is objections raised by a section of the person about why there are injunctions for Ajnani and why there are exceptions for Jnani. So it's always a question. why would you call a jnani a different person, and why these karmas are not applicable for the person, and why all these karmas are applicable only for an jnani? And we started seeing this explanation from the first mantra. Let's read the first. I think we did the first and second mantra. Is it correct? Since second. Third, we have to start, correct? Okay. Let's look at the first two mantras just to summarize. Aham pratyaya bijam yad. Aham pratyaya bijam yad. Aham pratyaya vastitam. Aham pratyaya vastitam. Aham pratyaya bijam yad. Aham pratyaya vastitam. Naham pratyavahnushtam. Naham pratyavahnushtam. Katam karma parohati. Naham pratyavahnushtam. Katam karma prarohati. So this verse talks about the sanchita karma. So aham pratyaya bijam. So this seed of ahankara. So aham pratyaya means what? The I thought which is there. So aham pratyaya means I thought which is in the person. Or the one who has got I thought. Aham pratyavat means the person who has got the capability or has ownership is called aham pratyavat. Just as a person who has got bhagavat or sakshat karaha, bhagavad karaha means the person has got the vision of the Bhagavan or has got attributes of bhagavat. Vidvat. Vidvat means a person who has got knowledge is called vidvat. Then he says aham pratyaya vastitam. So this person understands that all these aham pratyaya, I thought, etc. are only stored in the antakaranam only. Aham pratyaya vastitam. So there is really no thought outside of the mind. There's nothing called a universe outside of me. So the question of having creation or having something outside comes only when I see myself different from the universe. This person knows that the I thought or whatever thought is rising in the mind, it is only in his own mind. And he also understands it is nothing but a wrong notion. The wrong notion, ahankara, that ahankara is a wrong notion. And ahankara is the one which makes you do the karma. So if you say, I am the doer, or the I notion is very strong in you, then what does it make? The I notion will make you do the karmas. And because the ahankara rises because there is a maya shakti, acting upon it. So the avaranam shakti is there. If you remember Maya, I explained to you before, Maya has got two powers. Avarana shakti and vikshepa shakti. So vikshepa doesn't come, that is projection doesn't come unless avaranam is there first. So first avaranam acts upon the person, then only vikshepa comes into existence. Just as when you see the gold ornament, the gold itself is covered first. The raw gold is covered at first, and then the object appears. If there's no avaranam, then you do not have to see the gold ornament. You see directly the gold, teksha, correct? So the same way here also, the I thought or the ahankara is the true I thought is covered by this avarana shakti, with the maya. And it projects an image that you are the doer. And because you are being the doer, you do the actions, and actions it has got punyam and papam. the punya and papam has to be exhausted. And the person, because it's got Dehatma Buddhi, a very strong Dehatma Buddhi, such a person cannot exhaust all the punya and papam in the janma itself. So he has to take another janma. So all the papam, punyam, etc. doesn't go in the janma itself. It gets added to sanchita karma. Sanchitam is actually like bank balance or something which is there, which is the cause of your physical body also. Then from sanchitam you get some balance of something which is called the prarabdha. So that which is coming from the sanchitam is the one which you are experiencing as prarabdha. So for this person, he says, aham pratyayaha, vat aham pratyavastitam. Then he says what? Na aham pratyayaha, bahnihi ushtam. So when the first line talks about the ignorance, agyan, okay. The second line talks about na aham pratyayaha, bahnihi ushtam. So when the ahankara is resolved, na aham pratyayaha. See, there is no ahankara, there is no thought of ahankara, okay, of I, doers. And it is destroyed by called vaknihi or agni. So Vagni means Agni. What is Agni referred here? Agni is referred here as the knowledge of fire. So when the fire burns, it burns everything in its path. It doesn't leave anything half burnt. When the fire rages, it rages everything, it just burns everything. And whatever remaining is there is of no use because you cannot use that thing. So it's as good as not usable. So he says, even if you don't have full knowledge, when knowledge has taken place, there will be something which is not fully clear yet, but that is not going to affect your performance. Because it is those things which are useless, those things which are not going to affect you are left behind. And they may be there, the person. The jnani also may have some leftover things which are not fully covered yet. That is taken care of by him by Shravanam, Maranam, Nidhyasam. So by regularly doing Shravanam, even though the person is got a wise person, knowledgeable about everything, still the person attends, does Shravanam with the teacher also. Mainly not because it is required. It is mainly required or as a practice to see that old habits do not come into existence anymore. So one has to be, it's like example, let's say if you have gained Brahmagyan, say tomorrow you got Brahmagyan, and the next day you decide, oh, now I have become Brahmagyani, I don't want to attend any classes, I don't want to do any more studies, and you just go back to your old lifestyle. It is very easy for a person to get misled because the knowledge which is there is not going to stay for very long because you are interacting with the material world, you're interacting with all these things. How it is possible for you to retain such a long knowledge for a lengthy period of time? So one has to keep practicing, one has to keep getting better, one has to keep doing the things. So just like you brush your teeth every day, once you brush your teeth, it's not enough. You brush your teeth every day, right? To keep yourself going. Same way, you also have to do this study every day and till the body passes away. One has to keep studying, one has to keep, at least what you studied, you should remember. You may not need to study new things, but whatever you have studied, you still have to go through and recollect. And if it is not clear to you, you still have to do Maranam and Nidhyasam. So this is the meaning of the word, na aham pratyaya vahnihi, means I am not this ahankara, this is called the agnihi or vahnihi. Then how is this ushtam karmaha? So ushtam karma means, ushtha means this heat. So the heat just is generated by this agni, destroys the karma. It removes the concept of doership. So when the doership is negated, there is really no karma to be done. From the standpoint of the Atma. So you have to always see from which standpoint you're talking about it. if you are talking from the body aspect of it, yes, the body does the karmas. But if you are talking from the standpoint of the Atma being a karta, is not doing any karma at all. So thereby, this knowledge, when it rises that you are the Atma, you are the consciousness, which is a karta, this knowledge burns the previous knowledge that of the ahankara. So aham pratyaha bijam yad aham pratyavastitam na aham pratyaha bahni ushtam karma karma prarohati. So where is the question of khatam karma prarohati? So when the knowledge is already burnt, everything which is jnanam is already gone, where is the question of anything else to burn? Because everything is already resolved. Old knowledge has been replaced by new knowledge. So when new knowledge is already taken place, there is no question of old knowledge again coming back. So katam karma prarohati means there is no udbhavaha, there is no rising of old knowledge. Then we saw there was a question from the Purva Paksha, this argument, saying that let us say there is a jnani who is a Brahman or who is called the Jivan Muktaha. Such a person is living in the world or not? He said, yes, such a person exists in the world and he or she is still functioning in the world. So his body is still continuing to function while being a Jivan Muktaha. So this is the question from the Purva Paksha, not from the Advaiti. So what we established in the first verse, what Sanchita karma is being removed for such a person because he doesn't have any more of this kind of body maintenance complex. But the Purva Paksha has got an argument saying that, okay, we may accept your argument saying that Sanchita karma is not there for the person. But the person still has got physical body and he is still continuing to live in this physical world. For such a person, when he is supposed to be jnani, he is akarta, he doesn't do any action. So will he not eat food, will he not travel, will he not sleep, will he not wake up, or will he not take bath? All these questions are also actions. And these actions are going to give him drishta phalam and adrishta phalam. Correct? So the question is correct. The question is saying that what? Ajnani also is having sanchita karma. Ajnani also is enjoying all these things and he is also doing karma, etc. So we take it a point that the jnani is a little bit different and he has got this understanding that he is Brahman. So he doesn't have any actions to be done. But he's still living. I can see him still doing activities, he's still teaching, he's still doing lecturing, he's going and bhiksha, he travels. So all these activities are what? They are activities. So are you saying that when the person does this, the Shastram says there is drishta phalam and adrishta phalam, correct? So there is direct benefit and indirect benefit. Some punyam will be there. And Ajnani also has got drishta phalam and adrishta phalam. So from the standpoint of doing the karmas, other karmas, where does the jnani has got a special privilege? Where do you say that the jnani is different from the ajnani? Both of them have got adrishta phalam and drishta phalam. Right? So this is the seed for the second sloka, which we saw also briefly last time. Drishtavachet paro hasyat, drishtavachet paro hasyat, anya karma sa ishyate. Drishtavechat chet paro hasyat, anya karma na ishyate. Tannirode katam tatsyat. Tannirode katam satya tatsyat. Prichamo vastu duchyatham. Prichamo vastu duchyatham. So, drishtave chet parohasya means after having gained knowledge. So, drishtave cha parohasya. So, phalam is like drishta phalam and adrishta phalam. The Advaiti answers this question saying that the jnani definitely gets knowledge and he definitely is entitled to get drishta phalam. Like when the jnani eats food, he gets drishta phalam because he is having full and is able to have his body well maintained for him to continue what he wants to do. He is able to sleep because sleep is required for the physical body. And any other intellectual activity a person is pursuing, studying Shastram or lecturing, etc., is required for the intellectual pursuit. So all these things are all connected to the physical body, and the jnani also gets the drishta phalam. But other karmas which are there, these karmas which are there, these are not the karmas which are done for pursuing desire. See, a jnani is not pursuing desire to eat food. He is not pursuing desire to sleep well. He or she is not desiring to travel. And he or she is also not desiring to do this full time or teaching or whatever is required. So there is really no desire in a person. I mean, it is something which a person does to keep his time busy. You have to, because you've got such a long way to live. Prarabdha is still there. So if you just sit idle and do nothing, it is not possible for anyone to sit idle, number one. As you saw in the Bhagavad Gita, right? So nobody can sit idle even for even a second. Even blinking of an eyelid also is an action. So it is practically not possible for anyone to remain silent. So the jnani also is performing activities in this world, just about anybody else. But the jnani does an activity which is only required for him to keep the body active. So he doesn't really have desire to follow any purushartha. So he also doesn't have a desire to gain moksha also. When you start the fundamentals, you start at the beginning, there is a desire to follow purushartha, right? One has to know what the purushartha is there. So you want to know what moksha is, you want to gain moksha, you want to attain moksha, or you want to discover what moksha is. So there is a desire for you to do all these things. So the jnani doesn't have any more desire like this because he already has attained artha, he's attained kama, he's already overgone, he has overcome everything already. So he does not have any more desire from that perspective to pursue this fully. But so he leaves the desire as it is. So those things which are going to come as adrishta phalam later on. So he's not worried about that. He's not even worried about adrishta phalam at all because he says, what will I do with adrishta phalam? I do not need any adrishta phalam at all. Because if it comes after I pass away, I do not need to even worry about it. If it comes, if it comes. If it doesn't come, I'm not really worried about it. Because he doesn't need the adrishta phalam, honestly speaking. But drishta phalam is something which you cannot avoid. If you eat food, the drishta phalam is there. Because you will feel, the hunger is there for everybody. Jnani also got hunger. You cannot say, oh, you are a jnani, you are aham purnaha, so you're always full. No, aham purnaha means it's conceptually cognitive. But in terms of tummy purnaha, you're not there. Correct? So anna purnaha, anna has to be there. So annam has to be eaten by jnani as well as ajnani also. But ajnani eats food for maintaining the physical body and for for person desire, like he'll have a 3-course meal, salt is not there, it's not cooked properly, it has to be a certain temperature. All these things are looked at. Varieties of food, rendu kai venum, moonu curry venum, sambar, rasam, appalam, all these things will be there. You have to have a proper things. This person doesn't have anything like this. Time at the 1 o'clock, what is there? Okay, I got next class at 1:30. Okay, if something is there, I'll just eat. So it doesn't matter what is available, because for the person, food is not a criteria. Food is not a driving factor for him to pursue desire. Food is just something he has to eat to keep the body going. So very important concept, correct? If you are of a desire, let us say that somebody is going to cook you an elaborate meal and you're starving yourself. 3:30 I had the food ready. You are waiting for this food because someone told that if you wait for another 1 hour, you'll get elaborate meal. So what do? You wait. In the process, there's a class going on there. I've not had food at all. But you don't want to go and have food because the food which is there is not something you don't want to have it. It is from yesterday's food, or it is something not adequately for you. You're waiting for a desire is there for you to eat proper lunch. See, sometimes people go, I'm pretty sure we all know. So when you have somebody call you for a lunch party, right? What do? You're very careful in preparing, making sure that you don't eat anything at all. Or you go there right on time, or you wait so that the hunger is in you can do justice to the food. People say, I come to think, see, you're cooked so well, I have to give justice to what you cooked. Actually, it's not justice to the person. You're doing justice to yourself because you want to enjoy the good food, so you are not having breakfast or delaying breakfast, or you're having only minimum required for you to pursue desire. This Jnani also goes there for food also. He also goes there to the same place as you are going. You go and run in the queue and wait first. Correct? Before even the waiting is already over, the person already disappeared, is there in the queue, first queue. Modal Pandi. So in Tamil we have Padaki Mundiko, Pandiki Mundiko, Padaki Tindiko. In God, for Pandi you go first. For Ranum, you go last. Somebody asks you to come for a military, means you go last. And somebody says you go for food, means you go and stand in the first. So for the Jnani, these things are applicable because he still has got Dihatma Buddhi, he has got a very strong identity with physical body, and he is still after Vasanas, the desire is still there. For such a person, Sanchitam is there, Agami also is there, Drishtaphalam is there, Adrishtaphalam also is there. Because Adrishtaphalam is something he's going to get after eating the food. See, after eating the food, when he comes back home, he does not know how it is going to be. Drishtaphalam, directly he will see that, yes, I am full, I'm very nice food, both of them get satisfied. Adrishtaphalam, you will get only after some time how it is going to be, you do not know. So the activity which a person does is different compared to what Ajnani does. Ajnani may go, 3 rounds. First power, second time will go, third time also will go. If required, fourth time also will go. Whereas, for a person who is already, I'll just go only once. Whatever he thinks he can eat, his body can take, he will take only that. It may be that you have prepared elaborate, you have put Chinese food, you have put all the different types of food is there. But he is not tempted by all these things. I'm sure we all know this. Correct. Because first time when you go, if you take full of plate, variety of the world. Second time you first taste all this. Second time you go there, again take another round. Sometimes round cut round cutting means what you just look at the round and decide what you want to go next. Second time you go for that food you like most. Third time you go for sweets. Then after that you will be very quiet. this person doesn't have desire. He's not driven by this kind of desire. For such a person, Drishtafalam is applicable because just like everybody else is also eating food, he's satisfied. But Adrishtafalam, he's not worried about it. He doesn't even worry about it because it is not in his agenda at all. His performance is purely relation is I need to eat to survive body. And I need my mind to be active. That's all I'm doing. So he says, Tannirodhe katam tatsyat. So Tannirodhe katam tatsyat. Prichamo vastat uchyatam. So basically what he's saying is, if knowledge has destroyed karma already, so this person accepts now also this Purvapaksha. He says, okay, I also accept, or saying that, okay, this Jnani may not have Adrishtafalam and Drishtafalam I accept it. But what about Prarabdha Karma is a question. So he has now come from comparison between Jnani and Ajnani at the same level to understand that he doesn't have Sanchita Karma. So Ajnani has got Sanchita Karma, Agami Karma. Ajnani has got Drishtafalam, Adrishtafalam. Jnani doesn't have Sanchita Karma, he has got no Agami Karma. Because he himself is not a doer, he says, these things are not, I'm not really a doer. This physical body has got requirement and it's fulfilling requirement. I'm just a pure witness, I'm just watching. The body does the activities, it digests the food, and when the body is tired, it goes to sleep. Then it wakes up due to the Prarabdha Karma, he accepts these kind of things. So he lives a very, very objective life, detached from everything else. Always very mindful about what he's saying, what he's speaking, how he's behaving, everything. So this is the life of a Jivan Mukta. This is how a Jivan Mukta lives. It's very important to know how a Jivan Mukta is different from an Ajnani. You would not know from a behavior of the person. He will just be like any other person next to you. So when you sit next to him, you will not know whether the person is Jivan Mukta or is Ajnani. Only by watching him, only by interacting with him, only by understanding him a little bit closer, you will understand, oh, he's not the same league as us. He is different. Right? This is what is said here. So this is the question from the Purvapaksha. So Tannirodhe means you say ignorance is gone. And you are also saying that what vidhi is not there for a jnani. Okay? So ignorance is gone. There are no vidhi or no injunctions for a jnani. That means you have to do this karma, you have to do this, you have to do this puja, you have to do this particular time, you have to do chanting. All these things are not applicable for a person because he may do, he may not do. Okay. And he doesn't feel guilty that he's not doing or doing. So both these things are not there anymore for Jnani. So he says, okay, Tannirodhe. So ignorance has been the past. So when you say Katam Tat Syat, so when you say it is destroyed, then why Prarabdha Karma is still there? So Prichamo. So Prichamo means you say, please you say to us, and you have to tell me now as to why you think Prarabdha Karma is still there for the person who is a Jnani. So according to him, Purvapaksha, when the karmas are not there, then Jnani also has to die. Because Jnani is what is Brahman. And Brahman doesn't have any birth. Brahman doesn't have any death. So when he has attained already moksha, then he is supposed to be leaving this world. Correct? This is the view of the Purvapaksha, not our Paksha. This is the view of the Purvapaksha who is saying that I am quoting, you are saying this Shastram says like this. So if I accept your view that knowledge will liberate a person and he is Jivan Muktaha, then he is not supposed to be doing any karma in this world. But because karma will give him this phalam, and karma may also give him adrishta phalam, which he is willing to discount it. Because Shastram is very clear about it. So he's saying that, okay, but he still has got prarabdha karma left. And the prarabdha karma is there because the physical body is still there. So why is he still living there? You say knowledge is liberated, he is free. But he is not free because he's still doing activities. I can see him still doing activities, teaching, walking, etc. So it says, what will happen is prarabdha karma, please tell us. Okay. So the verse 3 talks about the same thing, that the body is part of the prarabdha karma. Okay. So if you have a physical body, it means that we are bound by prarabdha karma. So technically, if a jnani has gained knowledge, then he's supposed to be departing from this world, but this is not possible because the Purva says that the prarabdha karma is stronger than the knowledge. See, the prarabdha karma is very stronger than knowledge gained, and it will overpower him in some respects for him to forget this or not remember the knowledge. See, for let's say example that say you are Jivan Muktaha, you got the knowledge, but you still have got prarabdha, correct? You still have physical body. Tomorrow you are going to come, you are going to perform in this world. You are still going to continue. Today you are perfectly fine. Everything is fine. Your knowledge is very clear. No headache, no physical body, no problem. Everything, no kalvali, nothing is there. No bad, nothing is there. So you say, today I am Jivan Muktaha and everything is free. Tomorrow, all problems come. You got backache, you got leg ache, you got headache, eyes can't see, you got fever, all body shakes. So this is also part of prarabdha. And when this prarabdha comes, it is such a strong, it hits you. Then your knowledge also can be shaken to some extent, correct? At that time, what do? You worry about your physical body, correct? You worry about this. Oh my God, what happened to me? Physical body, what happened? So you keep worrying about it. Tomorrow will I live or not? All these questions come to you. So this is Purva Paksha saying same thing to him, saying that the third verse, let's talk about it. Dehadya arambas Dehadya arambas madhyat ajnanam sat vishayam tvayi. So Dehadya arambah samartyat jnanam sat vishayam tvayi. So it's not ajnanam, it's jnanam. So Deha adi arambaha samartyat. So the first is called Deha adi arambaha samartyat jnanam sat vishayam tvayi. So he says, the response from the Advaita is like this. So Deha adi arambaha. So the body is there because of prarabdha. We agree. We are not denying to say that there is no prarabdha for the jnani. There is prarabdha. That's why the physical body is there. Right? And it is there because of strong prarabdha. And this has already come into existence and you cannot do anything about it. Whatever you do, any knowledge will not remove the prarabdha karma. So you will have to undergo the prarabdha karma irrespective of whether you are jnani or ajnani. Okay. Then jnanam sad vishayam tvayi. So sad vishayam tvayi means what? In the person, there is the truth of the sad vishayam. Then abhibhuyaha phalam kuryat karmante jnanam udbhave. So Avibhuyaha means what? Overpowering. So this Prarabdha karma is always very powerful. Right? So even if knowledge takes place, Prarabdha cannot be destroyed. So what is the difference between the two people? Ajnani also heard Prarabdha, Jnani also heard Prarabdha. So you tell me the difference between these two people as to why Jnani should be different. According to us, he should be not be existing, but he is still existing. Correct? So it says what? Abhibhuyaha phalam kuriyat karmante jnana udbhave. So sadvishayam tvai means what? In your disciple, this knowledge has risen. So a person, according to you, a jnani, has got this knowledge that he is not a doer and his knowledge is there. Correct? And you're saying that dehadi arambaha samarthya jnanam sadvishayam tvai. So you're saying that Prarabdha is already there for the jnani, everything continuing. So you ask a question, why there is Prarabdha karma for the jnani? So the answer is yes here, is that the jnani definitely has got Prarabdha karma, but he is not affected by the power of Maya. See, in the Maya there are two powers, as explained to you before. The Avarana Shaktihi and Vikshepa Shaktihi. If you have Avarana Shaktihi, only there will be birth. So what is Prarabdha karma? Prarabdha karma is related to birth, correct? Because it is coming from Sanchita karma. And Sanchita karma is already removed for the jnani. He already discounted the first. He accepts it. So when Sanchita karma is not there for the jnani, Avaranam also will not be there for the jnani. So there is no covering or there is no knowledge which is being hidden from the person. But there is Vikshepa Shaktihi, because Vikshepa means what? There is some amount of understanding, some amount of avidya is still there in terms of the jnani, that yes, I still have a physical body and all these things will not be destroyed till I go away. So this the jnani is well aware about it. So he is definitely not affected by Avarana Shakti. But he also is aware about the Vikshepa Shakti. Vikshepa means what? Projection or throwing out. Okay. So the jnani is aware about some aspects of what karma is doing and what Drishtaphalam is. He is aware about it. And he also understands that this is something which I cannot avoid and I have to accept it and I have to just go with this. So the jnani continues to interact with the world till the physical body attains, or when he attains Videha Mukti, or when we become Brahma Aikyam. He wants one with the Brahma. So this is called Avidya Leshaha. This particular aspect of little bit of understanding left or not fully covered, because the prarabdha is still there, the physical body is still there. And this will actually prevent the jnani from leaving the body. And this is required because the example I can give you is, let us say that you have a fan in your place. So let's say, I don't know, maybe in Singapore or Chennai or India, you have fan. Here we don't have fan because maybe it's too cold for us. So we do not have fan. But if you have fan in your place, you put a switch on and you turn it into, say, speed number 5. So the fan is now spinning at a very fast speed, correct? That is the life of the prarabdha. So prarabdha, the fan is spinning at a very high speed. Now, the person understands that the spinning of the fan also is just a chakraha, the samsara is just going through. and he says, I'm not worried about the spinning of the whole life. I'm free from this. I'm Jivan Muktaha. He doesn't worry about it. Now, what does a person do? He switches off his fan. Correct? The fan is switched off, but does the fan completely stop? The fan continues to spin for some time. Correct? Even if you switch off the power also, the fan continues to spin for some time before it stops. You got the idea? So even though the jnani is attained jnanam by turning on the switch of samsara, saying that I'm not part of samsara, he has turned the switch off already. According to the Purva Paksha, the fan should start immediately. The fan should not spin anymore. So according to Purva Paksha, the jnani also should leave this world immediately. But the jnani understands that it's not possible. He is coming from a different aspect. He doesn't know about it. So he gives the analogy saying that if you turn something off, it doesn't mean that everything will be completely stopped. There will be some aspect of it which will keep spinning for some time. Correct? And when the fan stops, that's the time when the physical body departs. So that turning the switch off and the fan continuing to spin is what is called the avidya leshaha, or the time gap. So it is like, the seed is already burnt. The seed which is there, avidya, is already burnt. But it is still, simmering. Some smoke is still coming there. But the seed, so it's already burned, it cannot give rise to anything more, correct? It has to die off naturally. Even in our example also, if you are preparing dosa, hot dosa in your tawa, right? What do you do? You are preparing tens of dosas. Tawa is very hot. When you take the tawa and put it in the water, there's a huge amount of smoke rising, right? And tawa is still hot for some time. Like the pan is still very hot, so you can't touch it. Even though you said that I put water there, if you touch your hand, it will burn immediately. So you'll have to wait for that complete pan to get cooled off and everything is cool. Then only you can actually take it and wash it, right? The example I'm giving you. So the example is, the Purva Pakshi's argument is, when Brahmagyanam is attained, he should just go away from the world, not do any karma. The advice is saying that it's not possible because Prarabdha karma is still there. And we understand Prarabdha karma is there, so he has to live for some time till the body departs. And then he becomes Vidya Mukti, he's already got Jivan Mukta. So there is no more birth for the person. Another example I can give you also is when a pot maker. If you see a pot maker, he has got an instrument where he keeps running the pot. Remember, the pot runs at a good speed. And then when the pot is running, he will actually use a clay to shape the clay. You've seen that? So he'll use a clay and then the pot is, is running at a good speed all the time. After the pot has taken the shape, he will take he'll just take it out nice like this, in the top. And then he will leave it for drying. After the pot is taken out, the wheel still spins for some time. Then afterwards, if he doesn't want to make any more pot, the wheel will stop and then the pot is over. Same way here also, the jnani's life will continue to evolve for some time. Till such time, the time has come for him to leave this world and all his prarabdhas is already exhausted. After that time, there is no more janma for him. Right? So, phalam kuryat. So, if you look at the word, see this. Abhibhuyaha phalam kuryat karma antehe jnanam uddhavet. So, at the end of karma antehe means what? Antaha means end. At the end of the karma, all the karmas, jnanam uddhavet means jnanam will be there already. So he will have already knowledge and he understands while living that, yes, I have to go through this and I do not have a choice and I'll wait for my time to come. So while I'm waiting for my time to come, I do not want to be doing anything idle, doing nothing. So I might do something else just to keep myself active and busy in society. Now the activity which is doing is not for himself, it is for Loka Sangraha. For the benefit of the mankind, the person is doing. He may do puja, he may do satsang, he may do teaching, he may teach chanting. All these things are now not done for one's own self. Because a person need not do teaching, a person need not do anything. But because it is, you understand that the prarabdha karma is still there for him, there's still more time to do. So tomorrow he may stop also. Tomorrow the person may depart this physical world. So his activity stop. He may live for another 2 more years, continue to do same activities. So this is what explained by the word here. Deha adi arambaha samartya jnanam sadvishayam tvayi. The first line is from the Purvapakshaha. So you are saying that your disciple has got this knowledge, right? So jnanam sadvishayam tvayi. So your disciple has got this knowledge sadvishaya. And how is it? Dehadi arambaha samartya. So due to the prarabdha, your person has got the knowledge that this is a prarabdha. This is explained to us. Then it says here, Phalam abhibhuyaha phalam kuryat karmante jnanam udbhave. Means what after the person has gained jnanam, he does not stop because there's still some more time to go. So it's called avidya leshaha or deha abasaha jagat abasaha. So that much ignorance is retained for prarabdha to complete its work. So that is why, so there is very little of that abasa will be there. Very little. And it is not going to affect the person. So it's called avidya leshaha. So like the burnt seed will not be giving any more strength to anything else. Because the seed is already burnt. So it is not going to give anything, but it will still keep simmering for some time. So the world also is an appearance for him, a temporary appearance for him. It doesn't affect him anymore. Is it clear? The third verse is clear to you? Then, the fourth verse. The fourth verse talks about the trying to see how to explain this to you. So this one is a question from Purvapaksha also, where he's saying that prarabdha karma is making you karma. So there is karma which has been done as part of the duties which you do normally. At the same time, this prarabdha karma also is enabling you to get jnanam. Right? So what is prarabdha karma? Equal to physical body, correct? Prarabdha karma is equal to physical body. That is what is we are going through now. So when we are living this life, we are doing actions, which brings you drishtaphalam, adrishtaphalam. So drishtaphalam is for the jnani, adrishtaphalam is for the ajnani. Then the jnani also is getting jnanam due to prarabdha karma. Right? So the question is, should there be jnanam, or should the jnani get jnanam because of prarabdha karma, or should the jnani should not be? What is the real meaning of this? So when you say the jnani doesn't have any prarabdha karma or is free from all these things, he doesn't have physical body, but he's using the physical body to get jnana. So how do you say, or how do you argue this view? Is what is the question? See, all these are very tricky questions. See, these are all difficult questions being asked. He says, I understand that you are doing this. You are saying that, okay, he's become Jivan Muktaha, he becomes Videha Muktaha. But while he's undergoing Prarabdha, this person is actually getting Jnanam. Is it right? Because with the physical body only you can gain Jnanam. You cannot gain Jnanam somewhere else. So the argument is, so he's getting Jnanam by using physical body. So how can you discount the physical body when he's getting Jnanam? How can he not claim ownership to the physical body when he says that he's not a physical body, but he's getting Jnanam with the physical body? That is the question or the objection. So then let's look at next one. It says here, Arabdasya phale hetehe, Arabdasya phale hetehe, Bhogo jnanam cha karmanaha, Bhogo jnanam cha karmanaha, Arabdasya phale hetehe, Bhogo jnanam cha karmanaha, Avirodastayor yuktoho, Avirodastayor yuktoho, Vaidharmya chetarasyathu, Vaidharmya chetarasyathu. So, Arabdasya karmanaha phale hetehe. Arabdasya karmanaha phale hetehe means of these two of the prarabdha karmas, there are two things, two are products. What are the two products? Bhogaha and jnanam, correct? So enjoyership, that is bhogaha, means what you are undergoing, what you are going through is bhogaha. So punyam, papam, palam, drishtam, everything is there. So bhogam and jnanam, two things are happening. Right now you are in a class. Before the class, you are having enjoyership, you are doing so many things. And now in the class, you are having jnana. This knowledge being kindled and this knowledge being happening there. Some sort of knowledge is being rising in your mind. Correct? And both of these are due to the prarabdha karma. Is it correct? Both of these are due to the prarabdha karma. So step by step you are coming. This is the question by the Purvapakshi. The Purvapakshi answers are being said this way, that so do you think jnanam also is due to prarabdha karma? The text means this. The text is literally meaning of this. See, the Purvapaksha, what they do not think anything. They don't analyze anything. They literally take the meaning and they say prarabdha karma leads you to two things, bhogaha and jnanam. So according to us, jnanam also is because of prarabdha karma. So how can you remove the prarabdha karma when jnanam is the source for jnanam is prarabdha karma? You got what I'm saying? The source for jnanam itself is prarabdha karma. So how can the jnani leave the prarabdha karma? Or how can not consider prarabdha karma? But the text means this, but you should not understand. The understanding is not like this according to Adi Shankara. He says, Bhogo jnanam cha karmana bhavataha means if a person who has got this prarabdha karma and the jnanam arises in the person, then the credit should be given to the physical body. This is the view of the Advaitic mission. Advaitic mission says what? We are not disputing the fact that prarabdha karma is responsible for raising jnanam. We are not disputing that. But what also we are trying to tell you is that these two things, the jnanam and the prarabdha karma, they are not virodhis, because they are actually sometimes they work together. Because of the physical body being there, because the prarabdha is there, one is destined to study Shastra. See, all we are all destined to study Shastra because there is a prarabdha. For some people, there's no prarabdha, they don't come to study Shastra. Is it right? All prarabdha, destiny, fate, whatever you call them. Because we are destined to study or something is there, we are here to study this. So, and what are we using as instrument? The physical body mentions complex. We're using the same instrument to study this jnana. So, indirectly, it is responsible for facilitating jnana. So, bhogo janmaha, bhogo jnanam cha karmana bhavataha means what? There is a connection between the prarabdha and jnana. So, they are not denying it completely. They say, yes, we agree that definitely you need the prarabdha to be there. Otherwise, if there's no prarabdha, you would not be even in the class. Right? You'll be doing something else. Supposing if your prarabdha is something different, then you will not be doing this. Your prarabdha is something else. Like we got other people who are doing something else. And only a handful of people are there. Why? Because your prarabdha is there. So you have no choice. Even though you don't want to, you are pulled into it because there is a strong prarabdha for this. So people who come to study Vedanta, that's why you always tell. Before you come to study Vedanta, you have to be very clear. You have a choice not to come or to come. Is it right? You have always a choice. But once you come into the class or into Vedanta study, then knowledge will occur. Whether you like it or not. You don't have a choice. See, about this, there's no choice that, maybe I will get knowledgeable or not. You will definitely get knowledge whether you like it or not. And you cannot go back also. If you go back, you will also become a very, very useless person. Supposing you study for 4 or 5 years, you get all this jnanam, etc. And suddenly you go to some other field, you will not be able to adapt easily because all this philosophy will come in contradiction to your thinking. Is that right? Whatever you see, whatever you do, my God, I was learning all these things. Suddenly all these things I have to accept it. You cannot drop this. You cannot accept that because your mind is not fully accepting that also. Your mind is actually more inclined to this, but you're not sure whether you continue or not continue. You are in Nadutra Narayana. In the middle of the street, you are there. Neither you can go there, neither you can fully hear, and how it will be difficult. Kashtapaduvadu. That is why what it says here, before you come, you should be very thinking. Once you follow that path, Purushartha Nishchaya is there, then the life will go full steam ahead. It will just be continuous, relentless pursuit will be there. That's what it says here. That this body is responsible for jnanam. But in case of an agyani, Purushartha is being pursued. So he's still pursuing what? Jnanam. Whereas here, he's no longer pursuing jnanam because he's already achieved jnanam. So there is nothing more to be performed here. So the prarabdha does not affect the person that much. You know what I'm saying? See, when you're already attained jnanam, prarabdha leaves you. This says, see, I'm not going to pester you much. I'll still give you trouble occasionally by headache, etc. I'll give you. Because what the person understands, I got a headache or I got a body ache. Then what he understands, see, it is, I can't avoid this. It is, I got a head means I got a headache. If you got an eye means I cannot see sometimes things. If I got a ear, I can get hearing problem. If you got a leg, I can get arthritis. All these things are known. He says this is all part of the body and all these things are going to fail one day or the other. And I am not really worried about what you are going to do. This is the dialogue which the person has internally. Okay. Internally, the person's dialogue saying that I am myself a Jivan Muktaha, and if you want to give me trouble, you can give me trouble, but I'm not going to get affected by it. So this jnanam gives him power to handle prarabdha better. Is it right or wrong? Before that, he didn't have a choice because he will just go, oh my God, I got a headache. Oh my God, I got back problem. I got this problem. I had the problem. And you will worried about only the problem. What you will do tomorrow, what I will get also is worry for you. Tomorrow what it will come? Will I be good or not? Something else will come to me or not? It's not worried about it. So that's why prarabdha does not affect that much the person, even though the prarabdha continues to be with the person for some time. Whereas for ajnani, prarabdha is full. It will come at a full blast to him. He or she has to just face a full wrath of prarabdha without any recourse. That is why they crumble. They do not know what to do. They are helpless. They go run here and there. They ask for advice. They go to Bhagavan. They go to this, tantric mantra. They go to this course, that course, angry course, engineering course. So many things. People go there. Pranic healing course. All of them, what is it? They all want to control. They want to know what's happening there. Manage better. So when you have all these kind of things, you are driven by so many choices. So that's why he says here, for the jnani, the purushartha search is already over. Then he need not be worried about anymore about this kind of a thing. So the prarabdha leaves him also. It doesn't affect him also. Then, so is it clear, the first line? Arabdasya phale hetehe bhogoho jnanam cha karmanaha. So the first line is clear to you. So bhoga and karmanaha, the prarabdha actually to some extent assists the jnani in getting jnanam. After getting jnanam, the prarabdha, the jnani disowns it to some extent, saying that you do what you want to do. I understand that I have to go through this problem. Like Swamiji used to tell, a person saw also, I cannot do anything. You should tell this. Come to the class, you'll just keep saying something. Suddenly you'll go to trip to sleep for half an hour. Nobody will listen to anything at all. Then after some time, half an hour you'll come and tell, I know that I can't speak, I can't hear anything. I know you're all waiting here, but mind is very active. I want to say something, but I cannot say anything because other parts of the body are not cooperating. So he undergoes, the pain and pleasure just because, but he's not willing to give it away. See, he's still fighting. Because when the person completely leaves the physical body, then it's over. But for Ajnani, it's different. The prarabdha karma is full force. He cannot manage this problem. So Jnani manages the prarabdha karma better than Ajnani. That is why prarabdha karma is weaker for the person. Then, tayoho avirudaha yuktaha. See, tayoho avirudaha yuktaha. So, of these two, jnanam and the bhogaha and jnanam, these two are actually not enemies. See, prarabdha karma, prarabdha and jnanam are not enemies because, as I told you, prarabdha helps you to gain jnanam, right? They are not enemies because that is the reason why we are able to get jnanam, we are able to study this. So it is not against this. And prarabdha karma is not going to give you more punya, is that right? Prarabdha is what is only for the physical body. It is not going to, just by having prarabdha, you are not going to get more punyam or papam or getting drishtam adrishta phalam, correct? It is something already ordained for you. Drishtamam and adrishtamam, correct? You are going to undergo it, you are going to go through it, and when it comes, you just go through it. So you are not worried about drishtam, not worried about adrishtam also. Whereas, itarasya tu vaidharmyam. Itarasya tu vaidharmyam means other things. Itaraha means what? Other. What are the other? Sanchita karma and agami karma. Sanchita karma and agami karma are what? They are virodaha. They are enemies to jnanam. Correct? So vaidharmyaha means what? Vairihi means what? Enemy. So vairihi means enemy. And vairihi dharmaha means what? They are viruddhaha, or they will actually not support jnana. Right? So prarabdha karma made brahmajnanam possible. But Sanchita karma and Agami karma are not contributing to Jnana because they are enemies. Arabdasya phale hetehe bhogo jnanam cha karmanaha avirodastayo yuktoho vaidharmya chetarasya tu. Is it clear so far? Then in verse 5, Purva Pakshi again gets up. Another question is asked. Is there a possibility that while experiencing prarabdha, a jnani, is it possible for him to forget his knowledge? See the question. Is it possible for him to forget his knowledge and return to samsara? All good questions, right? All the valid questions which we will all ask. So it's all asked by Adi Shankara himself. He is a Purva Paksha here. There is no real Purva Paksha here. The Purva Paksha is the question which he is putting into our mind. Say that you may think like this, or you may have this question. So I am clearing this doubt for you. Any questions on 3 and 4? Jay, you are clear?
Yeah.
So now we understand why Agami karma is not there for Jnani, why Sanchita karma is there for Jnani, why Prarabdha karma is there for a Jnani, but Prarabdha karma does not touch or affect that Jnani that much compared to an Ajnani. It does affect. You cannot say that no, Prarabdha karma doesn't touch the Jnani. It does touch the Jnani. He goes through pain, pressure, everything, but he is very objective about it, saying that it is something which I had to undergo, and I am not going to just budge into you and just stop that I'm not going to do this. He will continue, he will keep chugging along, keep doing the same thing. Vaisana Goda will continue to do chanting, he will continue teaching, he will continue to do all the activities which are required to be done there. Till one day he just collapses. He just can't do anymore, and this physical body leaves. At that time, he becomes one with Brahman. After that, the person doesn't come back, neither you must bring him back. So that is what is this next chapter. Next verse talks about what some people, they want to bring him back. And because they want him back, or they want to give him more knowledge, or the Jnani also wants to come back because he thinks he has to contribute more. So is there a possibility for a Jnani, once he has become a Jivan Muktaha and Videha Muktaha, can he come back? Or can somebody bring him back and worship? Is it right? So we bring a lot of people from a Brahma Aikyam to photo, from photo to temple, temple to Murti. And then we perform all these things. We worship him. We have miracles, experiences. We live with the person and we inspire everything. Shastram says it is not possible. Once a person becomes Jivan Muktaha, Videha Muktaha, there is no birth in any form, not even in thought, not even in Vachikam and Karmanaha. So Advaitam is a very strong point because it will refute lots of thought theories. It will challenge your thinking, a lot of things. So that's the number 5th verse talks about the last objection raised by the Purva Paksha, where he says, if Jnanam occurs in Jnani, and due to some reason he forgets this Jnanam, or he wants to come back after Jnanam is there, can he come back? Or can he come to samsara again? So this is a question raised by Purva Paksha, and the answer is given, which will go in the next class. Subbu, is it clear to you?
Yes.
Subbu, you okay?
Yeah, I'm clear. Thanks.
Suresh, any questions?
Just one question. You said Prarabdha is not an enemy of Jnanam.
Correct.
But other things like
Sanchita and Agami karma.
Sanchita and Agami, they go against Jnanam.
Because Sanchita, what does it do? Because Sanchita will make you
Reservoir.
Sanchita is actually the person because
Is a collection. Is a collection of karmas already existing over several births.
correct. So that is actually will prompt you to take another birth. Agami will what will do? Agami will contribute to Sanchitam, and again Sanchitam will again make you rebirth. So Agami and Sanchitam are not going to contribute to Jnanam at all.
Yeah.
So he first of all knocks those two off, saying that I do not want any part of Sanchitam. I do not want any part of Agami. I'm happy to live with Prarabdha because it is something which is only short
Unavoidable.
time.
Yeah.
It's avoidable, and I can't do anything about it. It's only for a short time. Maybe this janma only I have to live with this. Anyway, I've taken birth in this. The physical body is because of prarabdha karma, and the physical body is going to go one day, maybe 80 years, 70 years, whatever time is there. I do not want to be living next janma another 70 years. So he is acceptable to the fact. That is why prarabdha also doesn't, give too much importance. It leaves the jnani saying, okay, you already accepted the fact, and you want to die at your own time. Okay, go. So he says, I will keep giving you a problem as and when I come, but he will not be affected by this. Is it clear, Suresh?
Yeah.
Pushpaji, is it clear to you? You're okay, Pushpaji? Okay. Uma Singapore, you're okay? So we'll stop the class here and we will continue. I think we have a class at 7:45 for Bhagavad Gita, which will continue. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tatsate Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. Namaste and Shubhratri.